Hi guys, I'm actually a little sick at the moment, so that's why I sound like this. Yeah, I've got a little cold. It's nothing fun, but I'm still gonna do my readings. I'm still gonna do this stuff with y'all. Got a little of a sore throat. It's not fun. So today, as you can see, we are doing Luke 4. I can't see it. Luke 4 verses 16 through 30. This is Jesus rejected at Nazareth. Excuse me, oh my gosh. I got a terrible cold. The reason I chose this one, I got the chapters wrong in my calendar, so I had to, at the last minute, choose a different one, and I was flipping through Luke and Jesus being rejected. I feel like this one was a good one to do because this is something that often happens to us as Christians. We will be rejected. And the thing is that Jesus not only was rejected, not only by the people that called themselves Jews, his own religion, but also his own people. Like Nazareth was the place that he grew up. These were the people that he grew up and he saw. I'm sorry again, I have a cold, so I sound pretty echoey, much deeper than I usually do. Alright, so that's the reason why I chose Jesus rejected from Nazareth. So, I remember when I used to do Lent as a kid, a lot of my friends who weren't religious would pick on me and make fun of me, or wave around the things that I would give up. Like, I gave up Coke one year, Coca-Cola, sorry, I saw a joke coming way ahead. I gave up Coca-Cola and people would wave around the Coke can and go like, ooh, you can't have that. And it was annoying. And it was always the people who were not doing the same thing as us. So let's go ahead and get into the reading. And he came to Nazareth where he had been brought up, and as was his custom, he went to the synagogue on the Sabbath day, and he stood up to read. And the scroll of the prophet Isaiah was given to him. He unrolled the scroll and found the place where it was written, "The Spirit of the Lord is upon me, because he has anointed me to proclaim good news to poor. He has sent me to proclaim liberty to the captives and recovering of sight to the blind, to set a liberty to those who are oppressed, to proclaim the year of the Lord's favor." And he rolled up the scrolls and gave it back to the attendant and sat down, and the eyes of all the synagogue were fixed on him. He began to say to them, "Today this scripture has been fulfilled in your hearing." And all spoke well of him and marveled at the gracious words, and they were coming from his mouth. And they said, "Is not this Joseph's son?" And he said to them, "Doubtless you will quote to me this proverb, physical heal yourself." Excuse me if I said that wrong. "What we have heard you did at Capernaum, do here in your hometown as well." And he said, "Truly I say to you, no prophet is accepted in his hometown. But in truth I tell you, there were many widows in Israel in the day of Elijah, when the heavens were shut up 3 years and 6 months, and a great famine came over all the land. And Elijah was sent a widow, and there were many lepers in Israel in the time of the prophet Elisha. These things all in the synagogue were filled with wrath. And they rose up and drove him out of the town and brought him to the brow of the hill in which their town was built, so that they could throw him down the cliff. But passing through their midst, he went away. So basically right here, in Jesus is rejected in Nazareth, he does fulfill the scripture where when he's in the temptation, right here, chapter 4, verses 9 to 11, he took him to Jerusalem and set him on the palanquin of the temple and said to him, "If you are the Son of God, throw yourself down from here, for it is written, he will command his angels concerning you to guard you, and on their hands they will bear you up, lest you strike your foot against a stone." So right there in that verse, right there, in this whole story, they were about to throw Jesus off a cliff because he was saying he was the Son of God. And Jesus fulfills the scripture that he is truly protected because he just walks right through them. Because he's protected by the angels. Because they get to the top of the cliff, they're about to throw him off, and then they stop, and Jesus just walks right through. So he does... The thing is that always shocks me about the Pharisees is that Jesus constantly fills all these prophecies that were done in the Old Testament and said all throughout these Old Testaments. All throughout the Old Testament, he fills all of these, and they still deny him. So, that's one of the things I really like about reading this. And I like Luke's take on it, which I recently just learned that Luke and Mark, obviously for obvious reasons, were not apostles of Jesus. They're the four Gospels, but they were not apostles. I might be wrong. You can tell me if I'm wrong. They were not there for like Jesus's ministry. They were, I think, part of Paul. They were part of Paul's whole thing. Later on, when Christianity had gotten started, I might be wrong. I might be saying it wrong. I feel like I am. But originally, it was John and Matthew who were the only apostles who were with Jesus in writing their interpretations. That's why I feel like their interpretations are much realer, while Luke and Mark are gathering their views from everybody else, I guess. But that's something I just recently learned. I might be wrong. Again, I wouldn't trust everything you read on Google, even if it says it's a reliable source. That's something you might want to ask your pastor. But I have dedicated my Lent is into researching more about the Bible, and that's something that I found very interesting. So, excuse me, sorry. Excuse me, oh my gosh. So, yeah. All right, as always, now we got the Greek mythology water bottle. Again, who's your favorite Greek myth? It can be from God to creature, whatever you want. As always, I will end it with that. And Cherry, God bless. And those of you who are doing Lent, I'm praying for you guys. You guys are going to make it through these 40 days. It's going to be awesome. The 17th, I've got something planned. Big for you guys. Keep it up. Keep up the hard work. You guys are doing awesome. What are we doing tomorrow? We are doing Matthew chapter 6, verses 16 through 18. So I'll see you guys for that. Until then, I will probably sound worse tomorrow, because usually the third day's the worst day is what I hear. All right, Cherry, my dear friends, God bless, and have a great Lent. Oh my gosh, there we go.